What's up, guys? Welcome to Malifaux. It's been a while. Yeah, I've been having some real computer issues. Basically, I had to get a new computer, had to reinstall all my video editing software, and then I found out I couldn't just talk into the computer anymore. I had to try to get a microphone, and you can hear how that's sounding. It's pretty quiet. I'm talking with quite a raised voice at the moment. It's just the best I can do, and so we'll have to figure things out and try to make it better in future as we go. It's been more than a month since I played this game, so you'll have to bear with me, unfortunately. But let's get into it. So we've got, for terrain, forests as normal, blocking impassable height 1,000,000 buildings, hard cover, of course. These rock features and this shrine thing in the middle are hard cover blocking impassable, height 2 to 3. That might be height 1, who knows? Who cares? These walls are height 1 climbable, soft cover, I think. These are severe hazardous soft cover, and these ruins over here we're counting as a hard cover forest. More hazardous railings. Yep, that looks about it. For my deployment, I've got Canine Remains, Philip and their nanny with Haunting Cries, Canine Remains, Zombie Chihuahua, Nurse, McMorning with Moonlighting, Plastic Surgery, and Decaying Aura, Sebastian with Those Are Not Ours, Canine Remains. Gotta love those doggies. Switching perspectives over to my opponent's side. Yeah, my camera was playing up majorly during this game, and so there's gonna, I wasn't able to get all the pictures I normally do. I'm gonna have to piece this together a bit. Bear with me. But yeah, this is the Guild of the Mighty Hiddlefon, my gaming nemesis. I believe I'm yet to score more than 6 points against this guy, and I'm hopeful today. I'm hopeful. So we've got a converted monster hunter, a converted, what's that, a guild investigator, little purple blanket over his shoulder, oh how cute, a converted master queeg with promises, Francisco Ortego with Numb to the World and Wade In, hate that build, printing press, Nelly Cochran with, can you read that? I can't read that. And that's not helping. I'm pretty sure it's misleading headlines. Travelling quite light in any case, Miss Cochran. So then we've got this, I don't know if that's converted or not, but this pretty spectacularly coloured Thalarian Queller and Fiona Gage with Transparency. Quite a few Wave 5 models, looking forward to seeing what they can do. And you might have noticed a sound change. I am testing out sound settings as I'm doing this video, and this one seems to be a bit better, so I hope that this is coming through a bit clearer for you. As to my plan, well, I've started to notice that my playstyle tends to be run all the guys towards the middle, hold the opponent there, and then kind of bring in flankers to outmaneuver and scheme and that kind of thing. And it just does not work against Hiddlefon's guild. So my idea for this game is to give him the center, just, fucking take it, I don't care. He tends to pick schemes that require him to kill me, and so if I don't go running in towards him, then he'll have to start pushing forwards and coming towards me. And basically, it's not a mystery, I know which schemes he's taking. He'll be search the ruins and dig their graves, because that's what they always are. And so what I want to do is engage as little as possible, run in at the end of the turns and score for the strategy, and try to force the guild to pull apart in chasing me around. To do this, I've got a butt ton of Canine Remains, so lots of activations, lots of cheap Defense 5 models to basically waste his heavy hitters AP, so they're going to spread out around the flanks, dipping in to get the stash markers. I'm going to be taking Taildem because I've got so many minions, and he's got several henchmen, as well as his master. And I can put that condition on at range. I reckon that's going to be pretty good. And then because I'm going to be trying to split up and go for, the sides, try to split his crew up, I'm going to take Claim Jump. Again, just try to force his models to come and get my markers away from the center. McMorning's got his injection, so I can last minute push something and put a marker down in an odd place. And maybe Philip and the nanny can kind of dip up and put one down if I really need to. The nurse as well might be able to use her AP in that kind of role. Given how much marker removal my opponent's got, and he told me about this before the game, this was not a good idea, and I really should have taken Accusation instead. Search the ruins, I'm just not going to have enough surviving at the end of the game to make that work, and dig their graves, I've tried and tested, and it's just really hard to kill Hidalfon's models because he supports them really well and has them wrapped up in buffs all the time. It literally feels like wading through mud to attack these models. I know that Hidalfon also tends to bring quite a card draw machine to his crews, and so to kind of bring my own and counteract that advantage somewhat, I've got Philip and the Nanny. And what I'm also looking forward to is holding him back nice and safe, because I know Search the Ruins is coming. At the end of the game, I can just pop up and zap some markers and deny those points. Sebastian is the key to this crew. Basically, I want him kind of hanging back, summoning dogs back in to keep up the attrition. And if things do start to get poisoned and low defense, that kind of thing, he can run in and then start to really make that induction power count. McMorning, I'm going to play a bit more cagey this game, remembering him being kidnapped by Nelly the last game we played and then beaten up in an alley by turn 2. I want to play him much more cautiously. He's going to be lurking back here, protecting Sebastian and Philip, and basically threatening being the missile to go in and take out the nice tasty targets, but I'm going to try to hold back and not do that. I'm going to try to make the threat make danger areas where my opponent doesn't really want to go, and try to control his crew's movement a little bit like that. If I get the opportunity to run in, kill something and make a flesh construct, I might take it, but I'm going to really seriously look to see if he's trying to bait me into that move. So yeah, let's see how we do. I don't have a picture of my hand the first turn. As I said, my camera was fucking up. And yeah, you might be happy to know that that thing is at the bottom of the rubbish bin now. And I've got a new phone with a better camera, and yeah, fuck that thing. So yeah, here we are on turn 1. I've basically dropped some scheme markers with my canine remains and moved them up around the flank. Another canine remains has run off onto this flank. This canine remains dug up a bone, and I've summoned a new one in and just run it into the forest. Another canine remains has pushed forward to the center of the table, you know, just behind these trees. And the nurse has hit McMorning up for tons of poison. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 activations. My opponent has moved this fucker, the Guild Investigator, who's put a scheme marker down in front of the Monster Hunter. Oh, and something's pushed the Thalarian Queller out over here. Nelly is ditching evidence and cards like candy, and basically forcing me to move my entire crew before he does anything. As I start to run out of activations, the guild starts tiptoeing out, so we've got Fiona's come out over here and put herself in base contact with this terrain to get nice and protected. She's probably fast. Thalarian Queller's put this marker, which I think removes my suits if I go near it. So yeah, that's not a place I want to go. They can put 3 of these things out at like 12-inch range or something. It's amazing. And so yeah, I think at this point I'm all activated. The nurses, Poison McMorning, have moved up. McMorning has poison pushed, used his injection to bring Sebastian further up and gone mega defensive. And the Chihuahua's placed himself in between these trees, bit of cover, bit of line of sight blocking, and now he's going to threaten running in to poison stuff in the next turn. Or my opponent can waste some AP on him, who cares. So now Francisco's moved up and dropped a scheme marker. Can't remember who has El Mayor. It might have been Mr. Queeg or the Investigator, can't remember. And then this pissed me off. So Nelly had made the Monster Hunter fast. She runs up over here, puts Stalk on Sebastian and shoots him, doing a little bit of damage. Bit annoyed by that. I really wanted to try to make this a bloodless first turn. To be fair, that is about as bloodless as it's ever been against Hidalfon, so I guess it's not so bad. And this is how things look at the end of the turn. McMorning poison pushes over into the forest, basically trying to stand behind these hazardous fences to stop Francisco or anybody else trying to come in on him, whilst getting him some cover and getting some space between my models so that things can't like place in the middle and start attacking all of them at once. And this way I can poison push out either side at the beginning of my turn and then get some pretty good charge angles. So yeah, other than the fact that Sebastian's not in cover, I don't think that's too bad. And I quite like how far forward the Monster Hunters come, although I'm aware that it's a bit of bait. Well, I'm pretty sure this is bait as Francisco's right there and we've got the other guild models ready to back up. What I wasn't watching and should have been is the Queller over here. And we'll see what happens with that. So turn 2, really strong hand. Yes, finally. This looks like this could start to be good for me. As I tend to find against Hildolfon, my hand normally abandons me. So I think Nelly, or I think the printing press goes and then gets some evidence, companions into Nelly, who gives everything fast. So we've now got fast Francisco, fast Thalarian Queller, fast Fiona. And she's run up nice and central here. I respond with the Chihuahua, running it in to engage the Monster Hunter so it can't shoot, and poison it so that I can dogpile it. But the Thalarian Queller takes her opportunity, runs fastly over here, and gets McMorning with a restraining wand, also slowing him. So now he's at negative to attacks until the end of his next activation, which sucks. Not really so much in that I wasn't planning to attack with him, I was planning to hold him back somewhat, but it means that the guild now has to, fears him a lot less, and their movement is opened up quite a bit more. Philip goes and he eats the ski markers, pulling some decent cards into my hand. So yeah, 7-card hand, and that's looking pretty nice. Monster Hunter kills the Chihuahua, bad Monster Hunter. And I get her with a 1 AP charge from the canine remains. The Guild Investigator shows what a complete dickhead it is, dropping a marker, allowing it to push any models it wants around, and it chooses the Monster Hunter, pushing her back to safety. Such a pain because now I can't reach her with the rest of my dogs. I go with the nurse. She slinks around this part of the forest and starts throwing needles at the Thalarian Queller. I've got the red Joker, so it's almost guaranteed paralyze. I flip high, something like a 12, but my opponent top decks the red Joker, shutting me down and consigning McMorning to almost certainly be spending another turn at negative flips. Bollocks. Nelly now starts to waste my activations. It was so annoying, as I need to be able to out-activate him, get my squishy minions into the centre or around these markers at the end of the turn when they can't be hurt, force his models to come forwards and allow me to kind of outmaneuver and gang up on them. And I can't do it when she's just dropping cards, which she has a billion of because of her, Arcane Reservoir. These things pick up cards like it's going out of fashion. So yeah, I'm forced to go with a dog over here, drop a marker. I drop a marker over here in the centre, trying to think about pulling Fiona over here to try to stop it and block it, allowing my other dogs to have more freedom on this flank. She doesn't buy it, or yet anyway, so I have to move up one of my dogs here, just a sacrificial pawn. I go with Sebastian, as now the Monster Hunter might want to start thinking twice about stalking towards him. And I summon a canine remains off the Zombie Chihuahua's corpse. The way things are positioned, I can't get the charge I was looking for on the Monster Hunter, and so I just walk her over here to be lowering the Thalarian Queller's defense. Master Queeg decides then to make quite an interesting move, so he pushes himself around and gets out over here. I think the intention was to tie up the guys in the centre with his humongous melee range and stop me from dropping markers, etc. Or perhaps to bait McMorning in. I'm not quite sure about this move. A rare, risky play from Hildolfon, as this guy is his prime buff machine, giving pretty much everything positive flips against everything ever, and that's quite a vulnerable position. I put my dog in over here, and Francisco murderizes both of my canine remains that were holding down the squat marker. Again, I'm forced to go before Fiona engages, so I move my last dog up over the hedgerow, not going in too much and allowing her to kill both at once. She goes in and smashes my dog aside, and then heads off to over here to block this scheme marker. So I've lost both a dog and a scoring scheme marker, and that kind of sucks. Not quite how I wanted that to happen. So at the end of the turn, the guild score for Guard the Stash. I don't. The guild have scored Dig Their Graves because Fiona's first hit dropped a scheme marker and then her second hit killed the dog, because that's just so efficient. And because none of his henchmen or masters came forward into range before I'd moved my minions, I didn't get Talem off this turn. I really should have, looking at this, as there must have been a way. I'm trying to think what McMorning did. I think he poisoned, or tried to poison Queeg, and push something around. It might have been this dog. I don't remember. Do you think there would be a ski marker if I'd done that? I don't remember what McMorning did, but he's still around this area somewhere. So turn 3 looks like I held on to most of my good cards. I don't know why I didn't use them to save the dogs, but there we go. I think my opponent was just flipping so high with his melee 7 attacks it wasn't worth it. So yeah, unbelievably good hand. I lose the initiative, the Thalarian Queller goes, and I black Joker. So McMorning is back on negative flips. Good stuff. So I pushed out to here at the end of the turn with my poison, and I'm not sure that was a very good idea. I was thinking at the time to move back more centrally would have been much better. I was just cautious about having Morning, the nurse, and Sebastian all in one place for El Dickhead over here to come and tie up and demolish. And I also, so maybe I could have pushed out over here and started, taking out Fiona, but she's a tricky target for McMorning. He goes through her armor, but she's got hard to kill, which is a pain. And it's really her amazing defense when she's in extra terrain. It means his attacks just won't go through very reliably. And she can really punish him if he doesn't take her out, especially with Nelly around to give her all those extra attacks. So I kind of felt like I wanted him out over here, take out the softer targets, the Investigator and the Monster Hunter, who I think got given El Mayor last turn, so she's not so squishy anymore. So yeah, not sure about that, but I don't think I really have a lot of good choices at this point. My opponent's got a very good positioning here with Nelly supporting all of these guys, some hardcore hitters, and with McMorning as my only real combat threat. He's either over here threatening, but in a position to be hit by a lot of big things, or out over here, away from the big things, but also not supporting the rest of my crew. Would have made it more difficult for the Thalarian to get him if he'd been behind this tree, though. With its other AP, the Thalarian puts the nurse on negatives, and Francisco wades into the mix, smashing things around, damaging Sebastian quite badly. But luckily he remains standing, and Philip and the Nanny continues gobbling up scheme markers, making my hand awesome. El Mayor is now on Master Queeg, who I believe was quite badly wounded, as McMorning, if I remember correctly, Rancid transplanted him last turn and expunged. It took, lots of focusing and possibly some soul stones to do it. But yeah, he's now really badly damaged on like 1 or 2 wounds, and I'm waiting for him to become a dog. But I think Nelly or somebody healed him up a bit, and I've now realised I've just got to get rid of him, which I do with the canine remains, bring him down, luckily. Time to put those big cards to use. First time I've ever killed this motherfucker, and oh, it feels good. At some point I get my dog around Fiona and tail Nelly. Fiona then righteously kills it and gets another dig their graves, but he's not going to block line of sight for me this turn. Investigator eats my scheme marker at massive range, drawing a card for his trouble. Like, this thing is just fucking ridiculous. Goes and drops a scheme marker, probably shoots at something. Sebastian desperately summons dogs from corpses whilst he's still alive, just to keep my numbers up, and just try to lower the defense of Francisco. I've really got to try to kill this guy, as my big worry is that he's just going to rampage through my backfield, kill everything, kill Sebastian, the nurse, Philip, and then, I'm done. So I know I need to be around this area. I know I need to be killing these guys, helping me score points. But my thinking is, if I can manage to kill him this turn, or really damage him so that I can kill him pretty much straight away next turn, I'll be able to wrestle back a bit of control over the game, and then be able to leverage that in the later turns. Whereas if I don't take him out, then, totally wiped out. So I go in with McMorning, positive flips, negative flips even be damned, soul stoning and focusing. I've got a pretty great hand, but so has Hiddlefon, and really, I think I do half of Francisco's wounds. It's not impressive. And because he can't be poisoned, because I'm freaking numb to the world, yeah, it's not what it needed to be. I do manage to get the nurse out of combat and drop a scheme marker and keep get some guys around the stash markers this turn, but I can't get leave your mark, claim jump, whatever it is, thanks to Dickface McGee here. Can't remember what the Monster Hunter's doing, but she's probably shooting dogs, drawing cards, and just generally being a pain. We go to turn 4. McMorning's poison pushed out over here so that it can't be flurried, and we're desperately hoping for the initiative to finish this bastard off. But I really need to give up hopes of winning initiative against Hiddlefon. It just never happens. So Nelly goes, she comes up over here, kills the nurse, uses Francisco to kill Sebastian, and now we're really in trouble. I think possibly I tail Nelly with the dog that was here just before Fiona smashes it. Now I'm not really sure what's going on here, but I think the monster hunter has stalked a dog that was here, run over and killed this canine remains. Francisco has hopped out of dodge away from McMorning to go and protect this marker, and I've decided to run up my canine remains over here to try to hold down this zone now that it's fairly safe. And I think I get gotcha'd because the monster hunter can then use the stalk ability to shoot it dead, probably drawing a card. This thing is amazingly efficient. Investigator comes in and kills my last canine remains. Philip hops the wall, getting into position for a desperate run. McMorning injections him through the woods 8 inches and then runs up himself to go stand by. I think he goes and attacks the Queller, can't kill it, and then at the end of the turn poison pushes to stand by the marker. So yeah, turn 5, I've got 2 models left and I've killed, 1 model? This is going pretty standard so far. Going into that last turn, Nelly gets the initiative and she goes for McMorning. Francisco's attacking him in the back as Nelly's smacking him in the face with newspapers. But it doesn't go totally her way, as I think one of the crucial strikes Black Jokers and McMorning lives. Hooray! But then Francisco companions and kills him. Boo! But then Philip and the Nanny survives both Fiona and the mighty printing press, surviving the turn. But as I've got no activations to stop it, the markers go down all over the place, and the guild score full points for Search the Ruins. So in final scores, the guild scored 4 points for Guard the Stash, 3 points for Dig Their Graves, and 3 points for Search the Ruins. The Resurrectionists scored 2 points, I think, for Guard the Stash, 2 points for Talem, and no points for Claim Jump, making this game another 10-4 to Hiddlefon and the guild. Since that upside down picture was making me a bit dizzy, we'll go back up to this one. So yeah, that game played out pretty much how all the others have. I like this crew for this mission. I think it could do good work. Claim Jump was not the scheme to go for. It was just basically costing me AP and giving my opponent free cards. The remove evidence ability of the Guild Investigator, removes a scheme, corpse, or scrap marker within 6 inches in line of sight just when it activates, so completely for free, and you get to draw a card. That is an amazing ability. On top of if a corpse, scrap, or scheme marker just being placed near it within 4 inches, and it can push any model, friendly or enemy, around. It's just brilliant. That is really, really strong. So yeah, should not have been fueling that. As things panned out, what did I do? I ended up meeting him in the centre again, but with a kind of half-hearted force. There was a point where it looked like I might just be able to make a comeback. If Francisco had gone down here, that would have freed up a whole part of my crew to then push forward and take the fight to him. But with hard to kill, finesse, and especially numb to the world denying me my poison tricks, and being on negative flips for the Thalarian Queller's attack, it's just so many layers to wade through. I mean, I was super lucky to kill Queeg when he had El Mayor up. And yeah, it's just really hard to deal with the Nelly-Francisco tag team, especially when they keep getting the initiative all the time. So what can I say? Totally outplayed. That was really good. Really love seeing my opponent work his magic. And I actually don't think he played his best game here, and I think he would agree. He had been out of the gaming circuit for a bit before we played this. And still total dominance. And yeah, this is my only real game against... well, that's not true. I played other Wave 5 models in my last game. So yeah, so on the couple of games that I've played against Wave 5 models, I really think that going into 2018, Wave 5 is a step up. It's you've got to have some of these models in your crew. They are just so efficient from what I've seen. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that, to be honest. More games to see. And so I will catch you on the next one. Take care.